right, you want to do the countdown? The
Yes.
countdown?
Actually, just go ahead. I usually just sync it up with the lips anyway.
Are you serious? So we've been doing countdowns for no fucking reason this whole time.
Well, it seemed
It's been like
practical
two
when
and a
we
half
started
years.
the podcast, and now that we're on episode 44, I realize, eh, I'm good enough of an editor I can figure it
Good
out.
God.
Boy, they
So,
really needed you to sync up the lips on the English dub of the non-English speaking characters of the movie we're talking about today.
that's true.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Well,
but that's part of the charm, isn't it?
I
Yes.
mean, even the English speaking lines are sometimes not in sync because they shoot the entire thing silently, which I think would make this podcast a lot better if we
If we should film the whole
didn't
thing
record
silently.
the audio of our conversation and then later we just lip synced arduously to everything we
Yeah.
said over the span of however long.
If that's how you want to do it, Greg, you're the editor. So
Yeah,
particularly.
yeah.
But-
I'll do the dubs if we can go back and edit the Twister episode so everybody uniformly agrees that it's the best movie ever made.
But you have to dub our
No deal.
voices for that one.
Yeah. Hey,
So-
I'm Greg.
Right.
I think Twister's the best movie ever made. Done. Okay, next. Next.
that's amazing.
I think I just
That's
got
incredible.
pwned in the traditional sense.
Dude, honestly, if I wasn't looking at the screen, I would have thought that was you, Greg.
It's just Ben Shapiro.
it was so spot on.
Should we do like a gag intro where we're all like staring like at the camera like
Yeah, it should be like one of us is the good, the other's the bad, and the other's the ugly, and we'll just do like little
Well,
ribbons on our eyes.
yeah,
Dibs
okay,
on
so-
ugly.
Actually, no. I already decided what the lineup was. Tony is the good. I am the
Okay.
bad because I talk over everyone. And Jordan is the ugly. And,
Son of
and
a
I
bitch.
feel like that just kind of goes.
I
period.
mean, you survived the movie, you know. That's not nothing.
That's
I
true.
guess.
Fine, I'll take it.
But the difference is that Jordan's skin color is that color. He's not wearing makeup to make himself look like a race that he is not.
I
Ugh.
was literally thinking that if I had a bit more time and the means to do this, I was going to like make my face all fucking hideously sunburnt, and then fully claim the ugly role of this one.
It's true. That's a good point.
That's
Oh,
scary.
by
That
the
thing,
way,
like,
welcome
haunted
back
me.
to a musician and a filmmaker. We're talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Once again, we're joined by our third chair, our Jim Norton, Mr. Tony DeGenaro, and it's fitting that we're doing
Tony.
an Italian Western movie. I don't think spaghetti Western is politically correct, but then again, that might be me white splaining. So
Well, can I
do you
actually
feel?
I'm prepared to address this. So I'm glad we're getting this out of the way early. I am an Italian citizen. So
Passaporto.
I feel like I have some authority to speak on this, and I'll just say that Greg, before you pointed out to me that the 4K was available for streaming on Corporation, I had gotten this copy at the library, which
Past the
which
Cowboys.
Close enough.
listeners like me who are just listeners and not YouTube viewers, this is a binge box anthology collection that has The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, A Fistful of Dollars, the Lee Van Cleef movie Saboteur, and Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained, which isn't even the best
Famously-
Quentin Tarantino movie to
Well,
include in this
no.
collection.
But it's also not filmed in Italy or has anything to do with Italians. So
There's no
I
pasta
went
in
to
that one.
just,
I picked that up from the library and I was like, is this some kind of fucking joke? Like,
I mean, honestly, like if that
kinda
didn't
feels like
have
it
the
is.
library like logo on it, and if that was just like one of those 4-pack Walmart things for like $20.
It has to be. I felt compelled to do a little research and then I forgot. But this compilation is made by Binge Box. Not really sure who they are, but yeah. So anyway,
They put Redbox out of business.
Plastic Cowboys anthology. Check your local library. I'm
how do you
gonna
feel
say
about
it's okay.
The label spaghetti, like
Pasta Cowboys though is a great name for a band.
Pasta Cowboys,
Truly.
is
Yeah.
better, but it's also like, is that all we can reduce Italian culture to? Like a spaghetti. Like, come on.
Spaghetti's pretty good though.
Yeah,
Actually,
spaghetti
I guess-
rules.
Before we get into the questioning
I
about
can't disagree
whether or
with
not it's right to call the genre of spaghetti westerns, since we have an actual Italian on the podcast, what's your favorite pasta, man?
Like noodle or just dish or like overall?
I guess let's take one from each category there.
Yeah, okay. So my favorite pasta dish is the very simple, just like spaghetti and oil. A lot of Catholics have it on Christmas Eve with the seven fishes. I'm allergic to fish, so I probably became really into that dish just because it was all I could eat at family Christmas Eve.
But
But
have
you
you
just
seen
take
the Skylar Gisondo movie, co-starring Joey Pantoliano, The Feast of the Seven Fishes?
no.
One of my oldest friends, Cameron, who's now in a emo punk band, he plays Skylar's little brother in that movie. But it makes no sense because my friend is not Italian; he is Mexican and Iranian, and he
Right
looks
on.
nothing like
Close enough.
Yeah,
like
that didn't
his
stop
white
casting
brother.
for this movie, but
Well,
yeah, it's good. Simple spaghetti dish. Just you get like a thick noodle, like a spaghetti or a linguine, oil, garlic, toss it in the pan. Simple stuff, too good.
but what
My
about the
favorite
protein?
noodle, I'm gonna go rigatoni for obvious reasons.
Mm.
I feel seen by the rigatoni,
It's your
and
name, Tony.
then the the rigatoni, it's a good receptacle for sauce. You know, they're for folks who don't know, it's like thumb sized tube shaped noodle. It's got ridges on the
Tubular.
outside, so you can get sauce in the middle. You can get a little sauce kind of clinging to the sides.
Yeah.
If you make it al dente, there's like a great kind of thick, chewy texture to it. It's like chewing gum that tastes like spaghetti. I love it. Rigatoni.
Sick.
They should
That's
hire
so
you for
good.
the marketing department.
That's, honestly, yeah, it makes me want to have some rigatoni right now.
Well,
I'm like,
that like?
Barilla,
What-
Barilla, call
Yeah,
me.
I was
I'm
gonna say,
available.
Yeah, Brilla, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that's great. That's great to know.
you didn't
yeah,
ask
also,
me, Jordan, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that my favorite type of spaghetti noodle is actually angel hair. And because
angel hair. Wow.
and
Yeah.
Angel
Interesting.
Eyes is a
That's a
character
deep
in
cut.
Yeah.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh right, yeah, that does
Segue.
connect.
Segue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we can actually start this podcast now.
Call me
right.
a group of tourists meeting, exploring Toronto because I'm on a Segway right now. Come on.
Oh,
Come on.
Good God.
Well, it's better to be on a
I'm
Segway
seeing
than
Tower
on
in
the
what
top.
you're
Yeah,
saying.
God damn it! I was in the.
Sorry.
You cut me off. It's okay. We've both seen Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. So
Should we just
honestly,
talk about that instead?
yes. No, actually, I will say, you
Please
would
don't
think
spoil
that
it.
I would get the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly soundtrack stuck in my head from how iconic it is.
So good.
But honestly, 9 times out of 10 throughout the day, when there's a song stuck in my head in like the last week and a half, it's been the Wii Shop channel music from the Update Day video. Tony, maybe you'll get that reference someday, but
Yeah,
Jordan,
I look forward
Jordan
to it.
might. I might just be shouting into the void. But anyway,
Well,
The
speaking
Good,
of
the Bad,
shouting
and the
into the
Ugly
void,
is a movie directed by Sergio Leone, who is not actually the second unit director on Ben-Hur during the Chariot Race. That is bullshit. He was lying. But he did direct this movie, and he did an excellent job. In fact,
Yes.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think this is the greatest movie of all time, ever made,
whoa,
to this day.
whoa.
I
Wow.
don't think it's been surpassed in terms of just everything about it is
You're saying this is
top-notch.
better than Captain Ron? This is blasphemy.
It's like neck and neck, but
Okay, I'll accept that.
and third is Lords of Chaos. But The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is the third movie in a trilogy, kind of, not really.
Yeah.
Like it's the trilogy is only exists like that because Clint Eastwood was known in America, and when they released all of them in like '68 in America, they needed some way to market it, and that was what they went with. It's also known as it's like the Dollars trilogy and the Man with No Name trilogy. So there's multiple names for this.
Mhm.
It's not really so. It's A Fistful of Dollars, which is a remake of Yojimbo, and For a Few Dollars More, which I think they just they've reused half of the title, but the story is original in that one. And that one,
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood is the bad guy, and Lee Van Cleef is the good guy. And then when they made this movie, they flopped that, and then they added a Jewish man in brown makeup playing a Mexican. Who is the best actor in the movie? Sorry.
Tuco?
It's the reality, yes.
Yeah, Tuco
what's his-
steals the
He-
spotlight.
He chews a lot of scenery. I'll give him that.
And we
He's
can
on
see it-
camera.
and we can see it all in crystal clear 4K quality with the new restoration that
Yeah.
they did, which I didn't know was the official version that was just streaming on. Sorry, I'll bleep out the name so we don't offend
Give
anyone.
them any extra.
But-
On corporation.
Yeah, it was just included
Yeah.
in the in their subscription package.
on Bleepazon Prime.
I mean, the only thing I really have to, because I had the Blu-ray for years growing up. Like I discovered it, bought it on Blu-ray, and that's the version I've known. And so watching the two, like watching this new one with the old one in mind, like I think that the 4K version looks like 90% better. There's still some parts of it where I think for some reason the modern day film industry's obsession with HDR is like, I think it's got to stop because it's just getting annoying. Like there are some parts of shots where there is like something that should just be white, but instead it's like white and it's glowing. And it's like, guys, it's distracting. It doesn't look good. Like everything else about it looks fantastic. You can see every goddamn pore on Eli Wallach's face, even through all the dirt and the makeup and everything.
Yes,
like
you can.
It is incredibly high quality, but enough. Okay, I don't need like I'm so tired of like scrolling through reels and then one of them was filmed in HDR and it's like like just screen at full brightness, you can't turn it down. Like I will give them major credit for getting rid of that like yellow deserty tint that the earlier versions had, because there's a lot more rich colors in here, even if maybe sometimes they don't match shot to shot. That's a big part of this. This is a movie made by an Italian man and crew, shot in Spain, co-produced by Germany or German producers, starring Americans. So it's kind of a spaghetti western, but like when you look at it, you're like, this was not shot in America because we don't have bushes everywhere in the desert or trees. Like there's a few of them, but it's like when you look at the movies that like John Wayne was in, that's what America looks like in the West. This is a spaghetti western because everything about it is very Eastern, aside from the, people on screen. So, I mean, a few of the people on screen, a lot of the people are very obviously not American, but they're playing.
Yes. The Italian Confederates are so funny.
Right, they're speaking in their. Everyone is speaking in their native language, and then they just dub it over for whatever country it gets released in. So you get scenes like with the guy with no legs that is giving info to Angel Eyes, like slowly as he's getting more and more coins. I don't know what fucking language that guy was speaking, but it doesn't match the dubbing at all. But I will say, like, as far as Italian movies go, this is not as egregious as some of the other examples of we shot the movie with no audio and we dubbed it all over later. I think probably the worst I've seen of like a popular Italian movie is actually the original Suspiria. That has some of the worst like dubbing, not just acting wise, but also like trying to line it up to make you feel immersed in what is supposed to be this like landmark atmospheric horror and psychedelic and all this stuff. And it's also just like, this is a cheap movie made in Italy. And the climax is a woman walks down a hallway and runs into a ghost. That's it. So there's a lot more going on.
And she's surprised. Is that why it's called Surprisa? Because she's surprised by the ghost?
That's exactly what it means.
The ghost says surprise at the end.
So I have a question for the two of you. How old were you when you saw this movie for the first time?
I think I was like probably really young. I think I was like somewhere, like I think I was like younger than 10 years old when I saw it, because it was playing on TV a lot.
Right.
It was like,
there
was like a Western channel. I don't know what it was called, but it was like always just playing like Westerns. And it got to the point where I was like, I didn't know which movie was which, because there was just like so many like Clint Eastwood ones playing. And I'm just like, oh, I don't know and then it was like later when it was like, oh, this is like, I'm starting to understand like who Sergio Leone is and this kind of saga, if you can call it, of these Clint Eastwood films. But yeah, I didn't watch it for a very long time. I didn't watch it for a very long time until like last week. And yeah, I don't know. I like it. It's great, but it's a bit of a slog. It's a little long. It's a little long.
It is, but I think there's enough going on that can keep me interested that I don't have a problem with that. I will say I saw Once Upon a Time in the West for the first time, like about a month ago. And I feel like every complaint most people have about The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is how I feel about that movie. That movie is a fucking slog. That movie is mostly people staring off into the distance in between their lines of dialogue. Like, you could literally condense that movie, like cut out like an hour of that movie. But because it was so like dedicated to the concept of where we're going to record the score and then we're going to shoot the movie and play the score while we're filming the scenes, it feels so much more distracting than this movie where it's like I said, it's still like moving locations enough. The characters are a lot more interesting than that other film that actually came after this, which is interesting. It's like Leone sort of reached this peak, and then he kind of just started declining slightly in quality. Like, I've not made it through Once Upon a Time in America. I got it 40 minutes in and literally started falling asleep, which does not happen for me very often with movies. So that's how you know. But I feel like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly hit this like sweet spot for me, where it's not a slog, but there was a moment, like I didn't sit there and watch it all the way through for 3 hours. Like, I did take a few pause breaks to get up, stretch, and do whatever. And I did kind of have like a moment where I'm like, this movie's fucking long, but it's the best movie of all time, so I really can't complain. Like, I wouldn't say it was the best movie of all time if I felt that its length or its pacing were a detriment. I feel like everything is very purposeful in a way that a lot of other Sergio Leone movies aren't, and in a way that a lot of other movies or even Western movies aren't. Like, this is some of the most finely crafted cinema I've ever seen. And it still has some of those Italian hallmarks, like the snap zooms and the, using the Italian army as your as every single background extra in this massive movie that in 1966 only cost $1.2 million. And you look at this movie now, this is the 60-year anniversary of this movie's release here in 2026. Jesus.
Wow.
And you look at it and you're like, you could not make this movie today. Like, even if you shot it in America, it would cost like $350 million. Like, it's insane the amount of scope and scale that this movie has. It like they built a giant cemetery with like 5,000 individual graves and this big stone like circle in the middle, and they built that bridge twice that they blow up because they accidentally blew it up before the cameras were rolling because there was a mistranslation between the English crew or the Italian crew and the Spanish crew, and someone thought they heard like go ahead and blow up the bridge, and instead it was like something else in a different language.
Don't blow up the bridge. They just
do not. The bridge. Do? Okay. You got it, Paisano.
But then...
Isn't that the same shit that happened in Twister? Like, didn't they accidentally blow up like a 18-wheeler or something like that?
Yes.
Before the cameras were rolling?
Yeah.
But the difference is that to fix that mistake in Twister, that cost half of what this movie cost to make in its entirety. So I'm pretty sure the Spanish army rebuilt it for... I said Italian army. It was the Spanish army, I'm pretty sure. They rebuilt it for free, and then on the condition that they rehire the guy who accidentally blew it up because they felt, pity, I guess. But it's also like,
I don't know. Rehire that guy.
Well, you know what? That wasn't the only chaotic thing that happened on the production of this movie. Like, did you know that? I'm sure everyone knows if they've read the IMDb trivia, but we're talking about it, so I'm going to bring it up. Eli Wallach, he lived to like 99 years old, but he almost died 3 times shooting this movie. There was a scene, one of the scenes when he's on the horse and they're trying to sabotage the hanging so that they can scam them and take the money. I think the horse took off, and I don't think the noose was ever actually attached when he was on it, except for like when nobody's moving. But then it just kept going, and he was like tied with his hands around his back, riding this horse through this like town set. That was the least dangerous thing that happened to him. The second thing that happened was when they're filming the scene when he, is captured by the Union soldiers and they're sending him to another prison camp or wherever they're sending him, and he's handcuffed to that fat guy. He pulls the fat guy off the train, bashes his head in. But the stunt that almost killed him was the scene when he's trying to use the next train that's coming through to break the chain between them.
Oh.
And you can see he's like ducking his head down, but in the shot, there's like this one little like footstool, like little step on the train that goes like right above his head. Wow. And so if he had literally like lifted up his head like just a tiny little bit, he would have just been decapitated or just like, yeah. And then the third one was when they have the bags in the graveyard of all the coins, and he uses the spade to break open the fabric and all the coins spill out. They used, to get that effect, to get it to break like in the middle of the take instead of just doing it over and over again. They used a bit of a corrosive acid to break the fabric down, but not be visible on camera and still look like it was together. And he thought, oh boy, it's hot in this desert. Hey, look, a glass of lemonade.
Oh
and
my God.
They had to call like poison control. So he drank acid,
Shit.
not the cool kind of acid, like the stuff that will eat your insides. Like, and he lived another 60 years or something like that. So,
Well, that's
Man.
probably why he lived so long. Because, like, Death and his team were like, someone's like checking the documents. They're like, dude, Eli Wallach is like 99. They're like, he's still alive? I thought I killed him like years ago. 3 fucking times we tried.
and then Clint Eastwood also almost died. Going back to the bridge scene, it's very visible on screen. They're like ducking in this little like I don't know what you call it, some sort of like fortified thing with sandbags in this big army base that they're at. And the bridge blows up, and they're really there in the shot. It wasn't like they superimposed them; like they were there, and they're only like maybe 200 feet away from the bridge or something, like not that far. And the bridge blows up, and they're ducking, and you see a rock, like a big sized rock, like this big. Like if it hit you in the head at that velocity, you'd be dead. And it lands like 2 feet away from Clint Eastwood. And you can like see the impact of it when it hits the dirt, and you're like,
Wow.
oh my God. So that's like so many of these reasons is like why this would never be made the same way. Like there were no OSHA, I don't even think existed in 1966. So
No, safety precautions.
in America, let alone
Truly the Wild
Europe.
West.
So yeah, I mean, that's I think part of why this movie is so successful, because it sort of does have that like, I don't know, like we're getting away with it, like bank robbers kind of attitude to the filmmaking. But it was also just like, it's almost like they perfected the science of how to make a Western movie, but also like turn it on its head in a few aspects and like subvert the usual tropes that you come to know from these movies. Like Clint Eastwood's not really that good of a guy. He's kind of an asshole.
No,
he was just gonna let
bad.
Tuco like die in the desert. I mean, that's why this movie is so captivating, because of the moral grayness that they all float between. Like when they're reading Tuco's list of crimes, they're like, yeah, he raped this woman, and then he had sex with a black teenager who was underage, and you're like, oh my God. Like I thought he was just a murderer. Like he's like a real bad guy, even though he's the titular ugly character. So I don't know what Lee Van Cleef's character was getting up to that earned him that moniker. My point being that Clint Eastwood is like only good by default, because he's still scamming people out of money. And then like, I mean, he didn't have an option to let that
like
guy die
bad
when he gets busted by Tuco. Yeah, but you can see that he's still selfish. He's still greedy as the rest of them. He's just more sneaky and less transparent about it, like Tuco, who can't shut the fuck up and is always saying what's ever on his mind at any given point, even whenever he's trying to be deceptive. Like when they take him to the mission after he drags Clint through the desert, and they find out about the grave where the money's buried from the dying soldiers and all that. So each of them has a piece of information that when you put it together reveals the location of the $200,000 in gold coins. So he takes him to the mission to try to nurse him back to health. And like the second he becomes conscious again, he's like, so, it would be a real shame if you died and you never told me the name of the thing, so you might as well just tell me now. And then he just, Clint's like, come here. And then he just throws coffee in his face. And it's like even in his like dilapidated, like dehydrated, seconds from death state, he still is not buying Tuco's bullshit. And he's still smart enough to be like, fuck you. Like, I would literally take this to death's door if I had to. And I think that's why the duel at the end is also so intense. Because there is a chance that he won't make it, and nobody knows what grave the money's in, because, I mean, they do reveal that he didn't write the name on the rock like he said he did. He was just bullshitting. That's why he's such a great character, Greg, even though there's, like, no dimension to him other than what we see him do in this movie.
We're discussing dimensions of characters and what happens at the end, but maybe our listeners need a little bit of a roll back the tape a little bit here, and
if you haven't seen this movie, you're an asshole. Okay,
what is this movie about? I mean, I'm not even sure that Tony got a chance to answer how old.
Oh, that's true. How old were you, Tony? I'm sorry. When you first saw this movie, let's go back.
It's so good to be on
the podcast.
How old were you when you were first asked that question? That's the best.
That was many years ago. So I got into this movie through the soundtrack. When I first started collecting vinyl, my grandparents loved going to auctions as just a hobby. They would just go buy junk at auctions, and my grandma would like sell stuff on eBay. And my grandparents bought me a big box of miscellaneous vinyl, and it was like 90% of the box was just Herb Alpert stuff. There was my first Bruce Springsteen album, which is Darkness on the Edge of Town, was in that box, and the soundtrack to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And I really, really, really like the soundtrack. And that is what compelled me to go check out the movie. I went to like a thrift store and I had a box set, The Man with No Name trilogy, burned through those movies in a weekend, absolutely loved them. Everybody I met like that year, it was like, hey, come back to my dorm. We're going to watch the cowboy movies. And I just got super, super into them. And then I kind of forgot about them for a while. I hadn't seen them, any of them, since the invitation to hop on the pod. And I originally had been a Fistful of Dollars fan. Like that was my favorite in the trilogy. But, watching this last night for the first time in probably 10 years, I was like, this is that movie. Like I'm not going to call it like best movie of all time because it's not Twister, but I was thinking my like kind of pull quote assessment of the movie is like we throw around the word epic a lot when we're describing movies, and like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is epic. It's huge. It's 3 hours long. There are just these big, huge characters on the screen. The cinematography, the settings, the locations, the bridge that they blew. Like it's just this movie is really, really big. Maybe too big for your kind of most casual viewer, but yeah, this movie kicked my ass. I loved it. I can't believe how much I didn't remember. Like I had totally forgotten about the Civil War as a backdrop, and
I thought you were
yeah.
gonna say
So
you forgot
first
about the
saw
scene
it.
where Lee Van Cleef beats a woman with his open hand
I did.
repeatedly.
Yeah, I did forget that. I
I
did
didn't.
forget that.
That was the one scene where when it came up, I'm like, all right, and now I'm gonna check my phone. Oh, it's over. Okay,
Scrolling.
like
I might have
that's
dozed off
not
during that scene. Just kidding. Yeah,
not very
yeah, good
comfortable.
movie. Saw it when I was probably 20 or 19. Loved it really hard for like a year and a half, and then just kind of continued listening to like the soundtrack, but not watching the movie.
Well, you were like, this is great. I mean, this is like top tier filmmaking, but again, it's not
It's a,
Twister.
it's definitely not
It's not
Twister.
Twister, and it's not Star Wars. So
It's up there. Yeah, well, it's yeah.
it's the original
it's
Star Wars.
it's no the original Star Wars, but
It's its
there
own
are
thing, though, right? Like it's hard to compare it to, like something like Star Wars. It's like
yeah.
that's so epic in its
The
own right,
desert.
but as something very. I mean, I guess the desert. Yeah, there's a commonality. Greg, are you using a microphone? I feel like your your voice is so like low, and I
Well,
don't
I'm
see a
trying not to
microphone in your frame.
peak, but I was actually gonna like I didn't want to interrupt the flow of conversation, but I'm
I
feeling a
just went ahead
little
and did it anyways.
yeah. But I mean, you did it, so I'm gonna continue your thread. I just
It's so good to be back.
look. I'm just saying that before we continue, I'm feeling a little overheated. Is it okay if I just make a quick adjustment and then we can keep going?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It takes off his pants. Oh, oh my goodness! It is gonna. It's happening.
Oh, no!
My god!
Leave
Wow,
leave
this
like
is
a Motorhead looking
Yeah,
mutton
dude. Like,
stash.
It's gonna
dude,
take a minute.
yeah, the mutts and the stash.
It's not not easy to do when you're looking at yourself on a
Oh
computer.
man, I can't wait to cyberbully this podcast into doing an episode about twisters wherein I will shave on camera.
This is wild. I can't believe that this is happening right here.
Well, anyway, you guys can keep talking, and I'm just gonna.
Yeah,
do
it
this
should
for a
be
little
easy to continue talking about this movie while you shave.
Hey, man, I guess I'm the only real professional here, but I mean, anyway, what were you saying?
Wow. Wow, the only guy not wearing a themed costume
Yeah,
to the
exactly.
recording.
Well, I
Talking
have
about
a
being
gimmick, and you're
professional.
looking at it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
This is fascinating.
That's
Jordan,
probably
let's
great
do
for the Zoom audio.
let's do soundtrack chat real quick because I have a hot take about the Ennio Morricone soundtrack, which is that in the kind of universe of soundtracks that make the movie, I think this is up there at the top. I think a lot of people would say that like many of the John Williams scores are what makes those movies. I think this might be like the best movie to soundtrack comp, even more than Star Wars. Is that insane?
It's not insane at all. I would actually totally agree with you. Like, one of the huge things that really like like made me revisit why I liked the movie when I was a kid was hearing the soundtrack again. As like it's so iconic and it just it fits so well. And it's like it's bizarre. Like it's like borderline experimental and stuff. You're like, where did this come from? I think John Williams, like I had this thought when I was at Universal Studios because like they play a lot of John Williams music for the different like areas, and they blend very seamlessly. Like when you go out of like the Harry Potter world into like the Jurassic Park world, you're like, whoa, I didn't even notice like the soundtrack change. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know why that is? It's because John Williams, like most of his stuff sounds the same. I was like, it's kind of like a similar structured pieces and similar like I guess chord progression and stuff like that. So I'm like, and they must be in almost the same keys because it's like when you're transitioning between them, you're like, damn, like you can go to like the Jaws theme to like, to Jurassic Park or Harry Potter or
Indiana
Star Wars,
Jones.
like without it feeling weird. And they're so different, all those movies. And you'd think that the soundtrack should be, vastly different, but it's not. But Ennio Morricone,
it would be funny if
like,
Warner
holy
Brothers
shit.
owned, if they owned Superman, because they literally reused unused recordings from the Star Wars sessions in the Superman 1978 soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
and I think there's even a few tracks that are like literally exactly the same. So that would be funny to go from like the Star Wars park to the Superman park and be like, wait, did we switch locations? I still hear the same motifs. Like I think it's
dude,
like
it's so funny like looking at Greg and I wasn't looking at him since he was shaving.
Oh yeah,
should I just do like the
rotate
halfway?
Yeah. This is crazy. Yeah, you should be in like a new metal band.
I set up paper towels and everything. You can't see it off camera, but I was waiting.
Is it all just pooling at your groin? All your
no,
your beard.
It's getting in between the keys. On the
I am gonna vacuum for sure and get the air duster. But...
That's amazing. But no, I would agree with you, Tony.
Let's continue our serious discussion while I look like this.
Well, keep going, Greg. I hope you're not going to stop there.
Yeah, don't stop there.
I wanted to weigh in. I just wanted to say real quick, going back to what you were saying about like the experimental part of it, like, it somehow like blends sort of traditional Western style with like, I think they invented that like, like that imitation of a coyote yell, which is of course iconic as the years have gone on. And I feel like anytime someone does like a Western gag in a cartoon, they just automatically mimic that, that. I'm sorry. I'm looking at myself in the camera.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how I'm doing this, but it's hard to do it with a straight face. But yeah, there's like, because it's the 60s, there's also like surf rock elements in there and like, but all there's like fun, like little percussive instruments, like click, 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 click. And like the one you wave back and forth and it like claps on both sides. Famously also seen at sports arenas. But I think I saw a tweet the other day that was like making fun of A Fistful of Dollars. Or For a Few Dollars More, and it's like the opening shot is a guy on a horse getting shot by a gun and then just falling off and just like laying dead in the dirt while the credits play over it. And so the tweet was like Sergio Leone pitching that, and he's like, I have a beautiful shot where a man is riding through a desert and he gets shot off of his horse. And then it's like, Ennio Morricone's like, and then what if I do a spring 60 times in a row right after that? Perfect.
It's great. I love
Magnifico. I don't know if that's Italian or just regular Spanish, but hey, with this movie, what fucking difference does it make? Anyway, continue. I'm going to continue shaving my face.
Yeah, please. Now I'm like stressed out that it's not balanced. Please do your other cheek.
25%. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, do the other cheek.
Proverbs tell us to
turn
the other cheek and then shave it.
There you go. Yes.
No, I think I just have to do like a full wipe all the way
across. You're just going to go from
leave the stash. Leave the stash.
No, you gotta. I'm sorry. It's not.
Or
it's in my contract.
Podcast with the stash. Shave it before you
or
go to
leave the goatee.
But...
Do everything else but the goatee.
It's so long though.
That honestly, because I think I've seen you with you. Well, you had a mustache at the Pitchfork Music Festival, but I don't think I've ever seen you with just the chin.
Did you bring that up just so I would have to cut to a clip of it? Because I always want to cut to a clip of it. Because it's very funny.
I mean, if I didn't bring it up, you probably still would cut to a clip of it.
Where do we go from here in the discussion? I feel like I really should have saved this gag for like the end because
I can pivot into an even deeper niche.
Okay.
Well,
wasn't there something else you wanted to talk about that you were hinting at in
Oh,
our
yeah,
DMs
yeah.
yesterday, Tony?
I
About
actually there was something that Tony brought up that I think I know what you're talking about because you mentioned the name Jack White.
Yes. Yeah.
And
So
that's not what I was
Yeah.
referring to, but go
and
ahead.
I had to do some mental math because it would have been so obvious for me to have came to this movie through Jack White, but I was definitely like, it was this movie first. And the reason I say that is because in 2011 or maybe 2012, no, 11. I'm saying 11 and I'm standing on it. He participated in an album that was a collaboration between the Italian composer Daniel Lupi and DJ Danger Mouse.
Oh yeah, Rome.
And
Yeah.
they made the album Rome, which is inspired by spaghetti western soundtracks, but it's music. There isn't a movie associated with it, and there are 4 tracks with singers, and the musicians are Jack White and Nora Jones, who each have their own track and then have like 2 collaborative tracks together. And I was bonkers into that album when it came out. That was like peak post White Stripes, pre Jack White solo projects. So we were, desperate for anything. And that just hit this really, really, really specific niche of stuff I was super into at the time. And that album rules. Jordan, are you a fan? Were you into that when it came out?
Yeah, I was absolutely. Yeah, no, I when you mentioned that, I was like, oh, I know what he's talking about. It's like the Rome album. Yeah, it's great. And at that time, I was like listening to a lot of like Danger Mouse's different projects and stuff like that too. And I was like, this guy's fucking so genius. Like he can do anything. But yeah, no, it's a cool connection. It's a cool connection. And oh my god, I just looked at Greg's camera.
Leave a little bit on the chin and then do some Fred Durst for us.
Oh god, no. I can't. I respect myself to do too much to even do that.
This is a tough episode for just listeners,
clown.
But the YouTube fans are eating.
See, that's.
Yeah.
I'm trying to prioritize.
Anyone listening, just subscribe to us on YouTube because this is too good. You got to see this. Greg
I just realized you guys
could
not hear what I was saying for like the last 30 seconds. Sorry. They'll hear it on the podcast though.
Oh, okay. So there's something specifically for the audio listeners only.
Reward for the
for
listeners only. That's good. Double tap.
Yeah, they get to hear the other side of the conversation.
Speaking of other side, can you turn? Can we see the?
Yeah. Oh wow. Look at that. You can be That's so funny. You got to get. There's this guy I saw it online. He has like a mirror like down his face, so that when he goes like that way, it like reflects the beard, and then when he goes that way, it reflects.
Do you guys want to talk about Jordan? You said let's go back to the beginning and explain what the movie is, and then we did not do that, and
we never did it.
40 minutes in, so we might as well make an attempt.
At this point, yeah, that makes sense to go back to the beginning. I mean,
well, just like the movie itself, the plot begins 40 minutes into the movie, so
right, that's true. Yeah, we don't even get to see who the characters, the titular good, bad, and the ugly are until like 40 minutes into the movie. But yeah, I guess it's a classic greed story. Well, you know what, Tony, you're the guest here. Why don't you lead with?
Well, he's not Tony. That's just a nickname. He's the man with no name, but we call him Tony because he looks Italian.
Right, Rigatoni. Let's
Rigatoni
hear
Paisanos.
Yeah, from the past
DJ
Cowboys mouth
DeGenaro,
himself.
take it away.
Okay, so I was not like the best viewer of this movie. I watched it not only over multiple sittings, but also on every possible device I could. Like I watched some of it on my laptop. I watched some of it like on my work monitor. I watched some of it on the TV, some of it on my phone. I fell asleep intermittently throughout the movie. Good movie. This is user error. This movie's very long. It's too long to watch a lot, but I don't it's not its fault it's too long. It's our fault for having complicated lives. But
well, it's like the Lord of the Rings. You have to like take the time to sit down and be like, I'm just gonna watch this.
Can't take anything you're saying
Stop
seriously.
acknowledging it, right?
And it's like
trying to contribute.
Oh my god!
I'm working on it. It's a work in
that's
progress.
What makes it Shakespeare. You look great. So
that's crazy.
Before I
like
attempt to describe the plot of this movie, I just want to say that for me, the plot really doesn't matter. I think like the vibes, the emotion, the visuals of the movie does enough storytelling for me that like you understand what's happening in that last 30 minutes that everything else doesn't really matter. With that being said, here's the plot as I remember it. Blondie, I'm not calling him the man with no name. I'm calling him Blondie, which I had forgotten that's his nickname, which is insane. It's so silly that they call him Blondie.
Each of the $3 movies, he has a different nickname,
Yes.
but with no actual like.
Yes.
Hey, I'm Joe. No,
Clint. We'll just call him Clint.
Yeah.
He and Tuco are running scams where they turn Tuco in to the hangman, and then Clint rescues him from the hangman, having gotten the reward, and then they ride on and keep scamming. I must have fallen asleep when Angel Eyes was introduced to the movie, but at some point, our three heroes, air quotes,
you fell asleep during the first 10 minutes of the movie where there's no dialogue, which valid, but also like he's the first character. Well, no, Tuco is technically introduced first, but very briefly. He's like these guys come up on a street. You think they're gonna duel, but then they go into this like tavern or wherever, and then the next thing you see is one of them flying out the window, and then Tuco jumping out through the glass, and he's got half a turkey leg in his hand and a gun in the other, and you're like, I know exactly who this character is.
Yeah,
the first second that he's on screen without saying a fucking word.
Yeah,
and he's ugly.
Good old Tuco.
Just like me.
Yeah, oh God. That is good. Clip that. That's the thumbnail. So they're these are bad men, and we're being shown that they're bad men in like a bad and heartless world. I had also forgotten about, and I already said this, but like the kind of Civil War as a backdrop, I think further illustrating, just the sort of badness. Things are not good. Morality is gray. Our characters discover that there is a cache of hidden Confederate gold, and the kind of second half of the movie is Angel Eyes, Clint Eastwood, and Tuco with what pieces of information they have, betraying each other, entering into terse tentative alliances with each other, basically duping both sides of the Civil War to advance their cause to, find the gold. We get like the first conclusive set piece in the battle at the bridge that they blow up, knowing that they filmed it like live with the actors right there makes me really sad that Tuco missed it because he was ass up for the explosion, which may be the funniest thing in any movie I've seen in a long time. Just like that framing is so good. And then they find their way to the cemetery where the gold is buried. Tuco gets there first. Big surprise, Clint Eastwood makes it and kind of gets Tuco to dig the hole. Big surprise, Angel Eyes makes it. They have a confrontation. The confrontation is like the coolest and most tense 15 minutes of any movie. That scene feels like it's an hour long, complimentary. And then, our hero rides off into the sunlight with half the gold, and Tuco escapes being killed by a noose with his half of the gold. Credits.
There you go.
Now, did you mention the part where Angel Eyes like torturing Tuco in the Confederate prison camp, and that's how he finds out the name of the cemetery?
Yeah, that part tough. That part tough watch.
But it's actually like kind of a weirdly dark comedy scene because they're also like having these, I don't know if they're fellow prisoners or like the Union band or whoever that is. I think they're prisoners, but they can all play instruments, so they're playing like this beautiful like folk song rendition while he's getting his fucking ass beat.
Yes.
And at one point the fiddle player is even like, I don't like this, like without saying it. And then they're like, keep playing, motherfucker.
Are we meant to understand that like the players know what's happening in the building and like they're feeling empathy for because like that the fiddle player scene really stood out to me. Is he a prisoner who knows he's gonna get beat to death? Also, is he sad because Tuco's getting like what was that?
There's that interaction between Blondie and that other prisoner where they're like standing there watching the band play in formation, and then like they're aware that Tuco's in there getting his ass beat, and the guy's like, they do that to all of us. You're lucky that your friend is the one getting his beat and not you right now. And so I think that's just par for the course. I think that's how the Union soldiers get their anger out on the on the Confederate soldiers that they couldn't kill, or the ones that killed their comrades, or whatever. Like we said, the war is like kind of
Dark.
It is mostly in the background until it becomes part of the plot, and then back to the background. I especially like the sequence when they're in that one town that's just been destroyed by cannonballs. Like every house is abandoned. They're like half standing, and yet one of them still has a perfectly full bathtub that didn't fall through the floor somehow. And Tuco takes a bath and
yeah,
shoots the
we
guy
get
through
the
water.
Witcher shot, which is actually the fistful or of the good, the bad, and the ugly shot, right? Like there's like the POV from behind Tuco, and he's got his gun like between his legs sticking out of the bathtub.
Right.
Which is a great scene. I don't know how realistic it is. I imagine gunpowder probably would soak and not fire, but it has the best line, and because it's not only like subverting a trope, it's also like Tuco's character learning a lesson from his previous interaction with Blondie when they're in that town, and he's like, "Whose horse is that?" to the hotel guy, and he tells him exactly what room he's in, and then he sneaks in through the window and holds Blondie at gunpoint, puts up a noose, and is like, put the noose around your neck.
Yeah.
And, like, kind of, at this point, they haven't discovered the gold or any of that information. And so he's just about to kill him, and then a cannonball comes through and just destroys the hotel. And by the time he looks up, Clint Eastwood is gone. So he learned that because he was monologuing and took so long that the cannonball ended up ruining his plan, instead of just like, hang yourself or I'll shoot you, and no like monologue. He learns that
when you have to shoot, don't talk.
And he perfectly illustrates that with I was actually, what I noticed this time for the first time? I've seen this movie like a dozen times. I only just now realized that the guy that he shoots when he's in the bathtub is the very first face you see in the movie. When they have that first confrontation in the desert, when they're like, "You're wanted for $2,000," and then Clint Eastwood shows up, and you would assume he kills all of them in that interaction, but no, the one guy only lost his arm, and he wants revenge on Tuco and Blondie. I didn't know that was him until I was like, I've seen that ugly motherfucker somewhere before. But he's very distinctly ugly in the same way as like, well, that's the problem with his movie. It's like, I am aware that people think Clint Eastwood is handsome, and I'm sure 80 years ago he probably was, but like, this movie could just be called The Ugly, The Ugly, and The Ugly, because that would be more appropriately descriptive. But if you wanted to fit it into the Dollars trilogy, it would be like a fistful of dollars for a few dollars more and for a shitload of money.
Like, big fucking pile of coins.
Yeah, for a fuckload of cash. But they had to market it in America, so I get it. I'm gonna shave the rest of this off now, but I will note that it's getting increasingly difficult because now I can't look at myself in the monitor.
Yeah, that little piece sticking out was.
Should I leave
tough.
it?
It looked almost like those gaming headsets where you have like the microphone.
Oh yeah.
Oh God!
No team killing! No team killing! What are you doing?
Play the objective! Stop getting your kill ratio up.
I say keep it, because I don't think anybody on Earth has this going on.
You're a one of
it's already like I can't even keep track of. You'd think I would feel it.
It's funny because Greg did touch on something that I was going to say, which is that there's moments that feel like a dark comedy, and I was like, in many ways, it does feel like there's a lot of comedy in it, and that's like something that maybe I didn't necessarily pick up on when I saw it as a youngin', but I was like following Tuco is like fucking funny. Like, there's so many scenes, like his desperation, like it's comedic, and I found myself like surprised that I was laughing as much as I did.
Can I say something potentially problematic with regards to his character?
If you must.
I think you can excuse the brown face because he's so good at playing that character, and he's so charming in the role, that you forget that he's Jewish and not Mexican. Like, I know that there are definitely mixed people like that are Mexican Jewish, but like, he is 100% like New York Jewish. And the fact that he's in brownface and he's talking like this the whole movie, but like convincing, it's not like Mickey Rooney and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner or whatever that movie is.
Nothing's like Mickey Rooney.
Breakfast at Tiffany's? I think obviously if you made this movie today, they would cast just a It would be Pedro
Right.
Pascal or someone like that.
Do you
But
think that anybody though has that same opinion about Mickey Rooney that you're having right now? Someone's like, yeah, I know it's a little,
well,
but he just
I can't
does
remember
it
who
so
it was.
well.
There was like some character actress that played that's like a white woman, but in one movie she played like an Asian man, and she was like so good at playing the role. I think she even got an Oscar nomination. But it wasn't like a Fisher Stevens in with Johnny Five or whatever that movie's called, where it was like, or C. Thomas Howell in what's that movie where he's trying to get into college so he does blackface? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a famous blackface movie. It was like made in 1982, so it was like really inappropriate at the time.
Wow.
What is that movie called? Is it like Best in Top of the Class or something like that?
From the producer of Risky Business, Soul Man. He didn't give up. He got down.
Right on.
I don't know, but it's a movie
I feel
where
like
a white
that
guy
title is
he wants to
recalling
get into
something,
college, but because there's an affirmative action like initiative, he's like rejected for like an Ivy League college. So he shows up in blackface and he's like, "What's up, soul brother? I'm here to learn some stuff." He's like,
that's awesome that movie
like,
got greenlit in 1982.
It's like Hershey chocolate black. Like,
oh,
it was bad.
The board was just like, I see no problems with this.
yeah,
put it
they're
out.
like, let's run it, print it.
Let's run
it. Yeah, Jordan,
maybe this is
I
more
agree.
comparative
Very
to
funny
Robert
movie.
Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder.
It is funny.
Where
Robert Downey, well,
everyone gave him a pass because they're like, well, you did
That
play a
was so
black guy. He
funny.
didn't do it in an
was
offensive way.
satire.
Exactly. Just like this movie, they were being satirical in.
I think it's like
no,
it's
maybe
one of
not.
those unfortunate things, It's like I
It
recently
was the
watched
time and
this-
place.
I watched this like 5-hour documentary they put out about like James Cameron's Aliens, and they were talking about
Cool.
Jeanette Goldstein, who played Vasquez.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, I fucking never knew that she wasn't Mexican, And I was
Well,
watching, I was like, that's a little fucked up. But then
It would be funny to
apparently,
watch
I mean,
Aliens and Terminator 2 back to back, because she's
Oh,
the
with both of them,
stepmom
she's
in that
both-
movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I guess they don't really. I feel like it's almost implied that she's Mexican in Terminator as well, but like I don't think they ever actually say that. But anywho,
I think they're
like,
supposed to be the
apparently in
whitest couple in
documentary-
America, is what that's.
Yeah,
supposed
they're
to be,
like
but-
apparently, and
Hey, we should do an episode on that movie. Oh wait,
on what
we
Terminator
did.
2?
We did.
we did already.
Yeah.
We'll do another one.
Terminator 2.
Yeah, they were
2.
saying that like fans of Aliens have come up to her, and even though like they acknowledge that she was like in some degree of brown face makeup in that movie, they're like, what you did for Mexican people put us on the map, even though you're not Mexican. And I was like, this feels like someone else is saying that, and not
Yeah.
the actual Mexican dude. But who knows? I don't know. So who knows? But
But yeah, it's like we were saying, like if you didn't know Eli Wallach wasn't Mexican and you saw this movie and you hadn't seen him in anything else, like would you even know the difference? Like
I can answer that from a position of authority. I did not know
I'm the
he was
whitest
not.
guy ever asking this question, so take it with a
Yeah,
grain of salt.
I had no idea that actor was not just like either like a European actor or like I had no idea. This is blowing my mind.
yeah, no, totally. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people to this day wouldn't even think twice about it.
Yeah.
But once they learn about it, they probably be like, holy shit. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, at least it was a very long time ago. And
60 years.
yeah,
So we talked about the soundtrack because I think there are like 3 songs in this that are like some of the most persistent compositions in cinema in general and pop culture because of how successful these movies were in America. Do you think that the Ecstasy of Gold is the best piece from the movie, or do you think it's something else like the theme song? Or because I think it's the trio, which is the big the big standoff, 3-way shoot scene at the end. That like 7-minute stretch of just like the constant building all the way up to like just like it just drops off, and it's just like the perfect pace. And I mean, we've talked about how excellently put together that entire last sequence is, but like the song in particular,
So
I feel
good.
like it would not have worked the same had it not been structured like that, and like like sort of just the tandem of the pace of the editing of the cuts matched with the tempo of the song that's playing underneath it. It's like you can't. I don't
Too
think
good.
it has been done better. I don't think anyone's made a cooler moment in a movie than that. As much as Tarantino has tried and ripped off this movie over and over again for the last 3 decades.
Pay homage. Pay homage.
Have you seen the Glenn Danzig movie that was inspired by Sergio Leone? It's called Death Rider, and it was particularly inspired by the music of Ennio Morricone.
Writing that down.
It was very inspired because there is no music in the movie.
Yeah, he made a movie inspired by Sergio Leone and Ennio Morricone's music, and the movie he made doesn't have any music in it.
But it's like to a degree where if you know anything about editing, you're like, did they export the movie with the music track muted? Because we can only hear ambient noise from like in the room throughout the entire
There's
movie.
It's like a Western. There's scenes in a salon, like a saloon, and there's like a guy on a piano in the background and like people dancing. There's no fucking music. All you can hear is just clinking of glasses.
Well, it
is
also a cowboy vampire movie, so maybe it's appropriate that it's
like Dusk Till Dawn, which I recently saw for the first time.
For the first time.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Good movie. I won't sidebar.
Check out
Greg. I want to answer your question about the soundtrack.
Finish the thought on From Dusk Till Dawn. Watch Full Tilt Boogie if you haven't seen it, the behind the scenes documentary.
Just watch Sinners.
I think for me, my favorite music moment in the movie is the sequence when Tuco arrives at the cemetery first. So like him getting to the graveyard up to the music shutting off when Blondie arrives. That for me was like the most potent part of soundtrack. And I think this is going to reveal my Tarantino fandom, but I think in part because that part of the score shows up in Kill Bill. But I don't know. Is that part of the music for the shootout? Like, does that theme pick back up again, or are those discrete tracks? Do you know what I mean?
I think when Tuco's in the graveyard and he's going around in circles looking for the Arch Stanton grave, that is the Ecstasy of Gold. And then the trio doesn't start until they're like by the grave, but then slowly walking back into the circle to begin the shootout.
Yeah, then I'm going to give it to Ecstasy of Gold just by like a very narrow margin. I mean, every song in the movie is like phenomenal.
Well, I think it sounds a lot better without the boom bap hip hop drums underneath it, if you ask me. As seen in your favorite Breaking Bad hype and aura moments montage on YouTube. I feel like, well, doesn't Metallica also play
Walter
that
White
before
just
every
be
show?
aura farming.
Isn't that how Metallica opens every concert with the Ecstasy of Gold from this movie? Like,
yeah, and the Ramones used to as well.
Has
Old
Metallica
people who are
come
my
up with
Facebook
any
friends
original
will know
idea
that,
in their
'cause I
entire
posted it this
career?
morning.
They steal from the Ramones. They steal from Danzig. They steal from, I don't know, good taste.
I think Metallica might be the most overrated band of all time. I'm going to say that right now.
We're making a lot of big blanketed statements today.
I think a lot of people, you know what the problem is Metallica are like they're not like a bad band, but they're overrated. And like, yeah. I think that it's because people that don't maybe like listen to metal music see them as like the spokesband for metal music or something.
Sure.
You know? They're like, the name's Metallica. You can't get anything.
Well, they tried to make
clearly.
themselves the spokesman for all music when the Napster shit was going down.
Right.
Yikes.
So,
what? Now I'm curious. I want to sidebar. Who else is in the competition for most overrated band of all time?
Probably LCD Sound System. But because it's overrated by James Murphy himself.
Yeah.
I love the third album and American Dream. I think those are both great albums. The first two did pick and choose, I guess, but we're just gonna, like I said, we're gonna just sneak this into every episode from now on, since we can't do a full episode about it. Jordan refuses.
Angry eye twitch.
Well, my real hot take on like most overrated band that everyone fights me on is Led Zeppelin.
Oh yeah,
interesting.
I don't get it. I mean, there's things I acknowledge, but I don't think I've ever really, except for this one time, and I told Greg that I wouldn't. If he told anybody, I'd be really pissed off. But I'm gonna now say it on the podcast. Is I was like in a liquor store here, and they were playing a song, and it was Zeppelin, and I Shazammed it, and I was like, "Fuck," because I really liked it.
Dude, what song?
Whoa, I don't know what it was.
It was the Puff Daddy remix of Kashmir from
Hell yeah,
Godzilla 1998.
Godzilla 98 mentioned.
That's so funny. That was a band.
That is
That song
absolutely.
whips.
You know
You can't
what?
listen
That
to that
makes
now.
complete sense that that's a Tony movie. Like,
Yeah, I'll do.
You know what though? At the time though, that was
if
good.
I didn't even know you and I saw you on the street, I'd be like, I bet that guy probably likes Godzilla 98.
I like talking about it.
Yeah, it's not the worst movie ever made.
But you know
It's
what
got
is the
some pretty
best
bad
movie
parts,
ever
but-
made? The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. By Sergio Leone. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. We were talking about dark comedy. I wanted to bring up a moment that I didn't realize was funny until this viewing, which is when they've like reunited. They've gotten out of the prison camp. They've gotten Angel Eyes off their tail, but he knows they're going to the cemetery, and they're like kind of just they put their horses up and they're like walking over a hill, and they're like, "Oh, trust me, Blondie. I won't get us lost. I know exactly where we're going." And then I can't even. Oh, Ramble On.
Ramble On. That song
Good
rules.
song.
That's a good liquor store song.
That's
like you're gonna-
my opinion changed a little bit.
You're gonna get like the interesting six pack when Ramble On is playing.
There you go. So they put their horses up. They're walking down like that little. It just looks like even like the edge of like a farm or something. But it's just a complete like comedy gag that not only do they get captured by Union soldiers immediately after he says that, they pan over and there's 2,000 of them in this massive base that they somehow didn't see, even though they're like it's like the perfect like filmmaking gag, that just like that reveal of information. I didn't realize how funny that was until this time around, but it's an amazing reveal. And yeah, I mean, like if I were one of the members of the Spanish army who played an extra in this movie, I would be proud of the fact that not only did I have to make an entire graveyard out of slats of wood and slabs of rock in the hot Italian or in this hot Spanish sun. I guess we have no idea of what time of year they shot this movie, because I'm assuming Spain looks like that year round.
And I was also going to say that the Italian sun and the Spanish sun are actually the same sun, because we only have one sun in the solar system.
Debatable.
Just want to put that out there.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what big science wants you to think.
Exactly.
One sun for each country?
Look,
That's a lot of suns, guy.
They already let it leak that we have a second moon, all right? So, just saying. Have you guys not heard about the celestial object that is now orbiting Earth? But
That's no moon.
It's not a space station either, I can tell you that.
Because
Because if we know anything from going back to Roland Emmerich, the 2022 masterpiece Moonfall, we know that the moon itself is hollowed out and there's a white dwarf inside and aliens,
Right.
and they have like just a whole ecosystem going on inside there. It's not a giant
Roland
rock in
Emmerich's
space.
best film.
But damn
what is
close.
Roland Emmerich's best film? Godzilla?
Day After Tomorrow.
1998?
I would say Day After
Independence
Tomorrow
Day?
personally, but
Mhm.
that might just be a nostalgia thing, which might be your reasoning
Yeah.
for.
They're good. They're good.
I
One
think
and two.
Independence Day probably, because it breaks through the most. I also have a weird soft spot for 2012, even though that movie's a piece of shit.
Ooh.
It's just
Yes.
so it's just so consistently dumb that you can't
Yes.
not have a good time. Like Woody Harrelson being this hippie that lives in an RV and he's like making doomsday cult videos in like Adobe Flash. Like, come on, that's great.
It's good stuff.
I don't care how the laws of physics don't apply to that movie.
I would say Godzilla 1998. That's his best film.
Wow.
Hmm.
No love
No.
for 10,000 BC, eh?
No, none.
Woof.
Or actually, you know what?
Not only no love, some hate.
I want to change my pick. White House Down. I think that's the
Ooh.
best Roland Emmerich.
Actually, you know what? You're right. Actually, that one's
good.
not bad.
Yeah.
That actually doesn't even feel like a Roland Emmerich movie. That's I didn't
It
even
doesn't
think of that.
until the attack copters start flying like 30
Mm.
feet over the streets of DC. Then you're like, oh yeah, this is a
Yeah.
Roland Emmerich movie. Because
Right.
he doesn't understand how anything works. He just writes it on the page and he's like, go.
And,
And that's
bless his
why we
heart,
love him
we're
for
better
it.
for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're
Well,
better for it.
We're also better for having a 4K version of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly out there
Yes.
now.
Mhm.
Everyone can see this amazing piece of cinema in the best possible quality. I would hope that anyone listening to this has already seen it, because, I mean, like I said,
It's
what, you an
classic.
asshole? Like, come on. How do you not love this movie if you've seen it? Tony, can I ask, do you have the Woody action figure tucked into your shirt because the Toy Story 5 trailer dropped like 2 hours ago? Or just because he's a cowboy and we're talking about
just because he's a cowboy. This Toy Story, this is news to me.
Toy Story 5, the new trailer just dropped, and they revealed that Woody has a bald spot.
What?
Even though he's a toy. So I guess that the implication is that the paint has rubbed off from the last 30 years on the back of his head. and the villain, or like the antagonist, if you want to call it that, of the movie is an iPad.
Wow.
And they have to deal with living in 2026 when iPads are the main source of entertainment for children. So
yeah, not in this house. Can't afford an iPad.
Well,
nice.
I going on that thread, I just want to say that when Toy Story 5 comes out, we are going to have Ben on the podcast to do a review. Not you, though. You can set up the call for him, but it's just going to be us and your kid.
Sounds good. He'll look forward to that.
Actually, you know what? I was 4 when Toy Story 2 came out, so it's the circle of life, really, and I can relate. In some
I have a question
way.
actually about that Woody toy though. Has that been tucked in your shirt the entire podcast underneath the blanket?
Yeah.
I would like, my headcanon is that he snuck it in there while everyone was distracted by me shaving my face.
Bit commitment. Yeah. He's been in there since.
Damn.
We got this horse show started.
Is there a snake in his boot?
I hope not, because his boot is in my shirt.
It's just a really tiny snake, though. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it's a small snake.
It'll be like getting bit by a worm. I don't want this to
become like a foot thing, but no, the boots don't. Oh, he's dead.
Does it have Andy written on the bottom of it?
It does not.
What the fuck? How is that official merchandise?
Maybe this is a.
It's after they painted over it in the second one.
You. That's excellent.
There should have been, if this movie came out in like 1986, there would have been Good, Bad, and Ugly action figures sold in like Happy Meals.
I'd get one.
You know, I feel like you could still show this movie to kids and they wouldn't all they would really get out of it is just like the cowboy. Like, I don't think they would walk away from it using swear words like they do in this movie, even though it's not like super profane. Like, they are scumbag cowboys, so that's just kind of how they talk, but it's not like in your face about it. It feels appropriate for, everything that's happening. So I think, I don't know. I'm not a father, so I wouldn't have that inner barometer. But Tony, what age do you think you'll show Ben this movie for the first time?
I wasn't thinking about the violence from that exact perspective, but I was pretty surprised. This is like a brutal movie. You kind of like you kind of mentally picture like the campiness of like the gun deaths, maybe there's like a little paint splatter, but like the torture scene, and like there are a lot of nooses and there are a ton of nooses in this movie, and I was like, I'm not like offended. This isn't a fault of the movie, but I was like, man, this is like really brutal. There's some like dark stuff in this movie. So I don't know. It would be a while, but a movie like this, I wouldn't be, I don't know, maybe like 9 or 10, I would say. And that would be more because of the attention span than the violence, even, because there are a lot of really atmospheric moments that is maybe not going to appeal to a kid. But I don't know. We've been watching the Showa era Godzilla movies, and there's just enough fighting in between talking that he has sat through like multiple foreign language films, which I love to say out loud. Which foreign language film? Well, don't worry about it. But
it counts.
like Ben's gotten a Criterion Collection DVD from the library.
That's awesome.
But I don't know. I was really I was surprised at how violent parts of this movie were, but then like how funny other parts were.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, so I think it's really a trip.
The violence makes it feel more authentically Western, even though it's not
definitely.
At all. I think it's like it's not sanitized like the American stuff would be at this era, pre-repealing of the Hays Code and all that. So what age are you going to show him Godzilla 98 is the real question.
Never, because I love my son. He'll have to, that'll be like,
I hate myself, but I love my son.
like that'll be one of his first like pop culture discovery disappointments. He'll have to learn the hard way that there are movies out there that suck, and that's going to be tough for him to face. But
I guess. I mean,
everybody
I had that reckoning with
learns.
my favorite movies, the Star Wars prequels, when I reached a certain age and I discovered a man named Mr. Plinkett. And I went, wait a second, you're allowed to criticize Star Wars? How
Not in
dare
this
you?
house.
That's an interesting topic, though. Like, what is the first movie that you saw where you realized like movies could suck? Because I feel like I know which one it was for me.
I immediately have an answer.
Go for it.
It was, I think it came out in like 2007, 2008. It was a movie called The Spirit, which was
The
comic
Frank
book
Miller
adaptation, very blatant ripoff of Sin City, like visually. And I made my friends.
Yeah,
Is that fair to say? I mean, they're both based on Frank Miller comics. Frank Miller directed both
Spirit
movies.
was directed by
Frank he
Miller.
co-directed Sin City, mostly a name, I guess, but like.
Well,
but it was.
I'm not defending the movie's quality. I'm just saying that one aspect.
I didn't know that.
Okay, fair.
Yeah,
and we didn't have Sin City 2, so we didn't know how
movie.
bad it could really get.
Terrible movie. I made my friends go see like a 10 a.m. screening on a Saturday because I was soft grounded, so I couldn't go out at night. But I was allowed to do stuff like before 4 p.m. So I was like, let's go see like the morning showing, and then we'll go get breakfast at IHOP after. And my friends were so fucking mad that they had to get up early on a Saturday to go see that piece of shit movie that they all made me buy at IHOP, which was like, $9 in 2008. Good times. Spirit, first movie where I learned movies could suck.
Wow. Yeah, that's a very shitty movie. Yeah. That if you hadn't seen a bad movie before that, that is the fucking worst movie.
I think for me,
I would say
Robert Rodriguez's Shorts. Anyone familiar with Shorts? It's from the same year as The Spirit, I'm pretty sure.
It's a kids movie, right?
It's a kids movie, and it's like it starts as a bunch of like vignette anthology stories, but then they all sort of converge in a big dumb ending. But even at like age 12, I think that was the moment where I realized like I don't think kids movies are for me anymore. I think I'm too old now. And that was like around the same time that like Drake and Josh was ending and iCarly was starting. So that was sort of when I went from like I need to watch real movies now.
Damn.
So
have you circled back before we get to Jordan's pick? Have you circled back to where you're like old enough to appreciate kids movies as like an expression of the art form, or are you still like you're not there yet?
No, I absolutely can. I mean, I still think Spy Kids 2 and 3 are unironically fantastic movies, and I've never changed my opinion on that, and I'm 30 now. So, of course.
Good.
But would you watch like a new kids movie that like comes out? Like if like Zootopia 2 comes out, or you're like, I'm gonna go fucking see it in the movie theater?
Well, here's the problem. My gripe with kids media nowadays is that like animation and kids media have just become synonymous at this point, and like it should not be a novel thing when an animated movie that's not aimed at children comes out. It should be run of the mill, like it, dime a dozen. So it frustrates me that like if there was a live action kids movie that was well made, that wasn't attached to like Spider-Man or anything, maybe. But I mean, most kids movies that are live action nowadays are either like very, very young, or they're aimed at adults and they're like little kids using swear words, and that's the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
we need a remake of The Little Rascals. It's 2026.
What we need is a remake
going.
of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, starring children as all the characters. And we need to put them in the exact same amount of peril as the actors in this movie. No effects, all practical.
No, we got to take it one level higher. It's got to be like Tropic Thunder, where it's kids producing The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly
brown face
with a
playing
cast of
Tuco.
Kids.
We get a white kid in brown face playing Tuco.
Definitely. Yes.
Genius.
Hi, my name is Jeff Smith, and I'm playing Tuco. He worked with a voice acting coach to nail the Mexican accent for perfect representation.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like the King's speech, but
it really is
racist.
like one of those like, it's not even like a woke PC thing maybe to an extent that you couldn't make this movie nowadays. There's like so many reasons why you could never make this movie again.
Yeah.
Like, the casting was too perfect. The director had too specific of a vision. I don't know how the Spanish desert landscape looks nowadays, but I would assume it's not as flush with vegetation as it used to be, even though, that's its own conversation. Just a number of factors, like every single extra on that would be paid way more than just their normal army salary. It just like the costumes that every single one of them has, the props, the construction of the massive sets, like the cemetery and the prison camp. We didn't actually mention like how expertly crafted that, and just massive. It feels authentic, and like I'm sure some of the locations, like the mission building, were probably legitimate and they were just shooting either exteriors or interiors or both. I wanted to point out the location for the scene where Tuco goes into that cave and there's like a freshly extinguished fire, and he's like aware that his old like gang members are just like waiting around listening, and it's not until he reveals that there's like money involved that they all rappel down immediately on ropes, which is a great reveal. But just like the establishing shot of that, like where he's just like this tiny little dwarfed man, in comparison to this massive like structure. I don't even know what it is, but it's old and it's abandoned, and it's like, it's a good thing they shot this movie on mute, because there's no way they would have gotten any usable sound that wasn't just like, I'm gonna do the effect in editing, but reverb to shit. For viewers, that's gonna be a great gag. For you guys, it's nothing. But Jordan, what was the movie that you you?
I love the way this man's mind works.
I'm a documentary filmmaker. I weave things back in and out at any given moment, depending on context or not. That's the magic of filmmaking.
Yeah, the worst movie, like when you realized
became
that movies could suck.
Yeah,
it was Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines, for sure. I was
Nice.
like, when I was a kid, like I watched Terminator 2 when I should not have seen that movie. Like I think I was like 5 years old or something when I watched that,
Hell yeah.
and I fell in love with it.
You know what? They sold
even-
those fucking toys to kids.
They sold the toys.
And
I had
like
all
the
the
Burger
toys,
King
man.
and Happy Meals and McDonald's.
Yeah, I don't think they were in Happy Meals, but they did sell toys. But like,
they not?
If I don't think they were in Happy Meals, but that'd be kind of crazy.
Maybe in America.
I don't know. But they did sell the toys, and I remember, and anyone that's watching this that's in the same age bracket as me and probably Tony will maybe know this name, the Bioflesh Regenerator.
In the ultimate confrontation with evil, Bioflesh suffers battle damage.
Yes.
That was the fucking shit. I can remember the smell of that fucking weird
Yes.
gunk that and Greg, you probably don't know what this is.
I
This
think
is
I
like
think I have
little,
a vague idea of what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Was it
you
like
get
a
these little
toy where like the idea was that,
endoskeleton or whatever?
yeah,
Of the T100, and then you would put it was like almost like a softer Play-Doh material,
right.
and you'd put it in like this little tank and squeeze a little pump thing down, and it would like put this flesh on top, which you could then peel away as like battle damage.
Oh,
on your
that's
little-
cool. Honestly,
It's pretty cool. Yeah, but you had to keep
It's-
buying this fucking weird powder to
Yeah.
like refill it all the time, and it smelled terrible and it got everywhere. But
probably had asbestos
yeah.
in it. Who knows?
probably. So, but when I was a fan of Terminator 2 as a child, I didn't even know that there was a Terminator 1, despite the fact that the movie I liked was called Terminator 2. And yeah.
Just thought it was a
years
weird
went
name.
on.
The
Yeah,
original
years
movie was
went on.
called Judgment Day. It was a European
Right.
movie, so noun before the adjective.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It's just like a cool way of putting like TO, So
Did you
I
ever get to
was
experience
like-
T2 3D?
I did.
The
And I
actual
will say that's a
ride?
much better movie, if you can call it that, than Terminator 3. But yeah, I found out later about Terminator 1, watched that, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing too. And then Terminator 3 was coming out in theaters, and I was just like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. And then I remember sitting there in the movie theater being like, this sucks. I was like,
Yeah.
this sucks. What has happened? I was like, I'm
Bad
so
movie.
excited
You
for
didn't
this. Yeah.
know the James Cameron factor of it all.
I didn't know that, but I mean, it's not even just the James Cameron factor.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
there's so much wrong with that movie.
Is
Right,
Edward Furlong still in that one?
No, it's Nick Stahl.
Should I
Who
know who
you
that
might
is?
remember from Sin City, which we were just talking about.
who is
He
he
played
in
the
Sin
yellow
City?
bastard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Is that his name?
Now I learned something.
That's what they call him. Yeah.
Yeah, that yellow bastard. I think that's even the name of one of the chapters of the graphic novel and then the movie.
Right.
So
Yeah. He was also in a good movie called In the Bedroom, I think is what it's called.
That yellow bastard was an abandoned Sergio Leone movie about an evil Chinese man terrorizing the West. They made Duck You Sucker instead. Which,
well, I mean, is there anything else to say about this movie? It's
That Yellow Bastard was the original title for Breakfast at Tiffany's. Sorry, that's the real joke.
Is there anything more to say about The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly that we haven't said? I think it is an amazing movie. I think it is. 3-hour movies for me at this point in my life are always going to be like one of those things where I'm like, ugh, do I have it in me to watch it? Even if I break it up, I'm like, it's just so long.
Yeah.
But it is like, all the points we've talked about, it is engaging throughout the whole thing. And I think, you gotta really tip your cowboy hat to it, because the stuff that Leone did, like, really invented ways that cinema technique would evolve or even just be replicated like throughout the ages. And Morricone's score is just fucking epic. And also then on the same level as the filmmaking, like, it's one of those things that sort of set the standard for scores of these kind of movies and beyond that even. So,
well, and it also it took like the conventions of westerns that everyone was used to and did them in a way and subverted just enough of them that this actually basically surpassed those in terms of like looking for tropes and like things you would expect to see in a western. So it's even funnier that like all of that happened, and then like 25 years later, Clint Eastwood directed and starred in Unforgiven, which is like the anti-western movie in like almost every aspect. I'm glad that it's like is it still number 5 on like the top IMDb rated movies of all time? It's up there for sure, but I think
deservedly so.
I don't think The Shawshank Redemption is better than this movie. I'm sorry. I think this should be at number 1, but
haven't seen it.
Maybe there is just an entry to barrier for more people. You haven't seen The Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah, no, I knew that was going to derail. I knew it. Have not seen it.
That is actually the craziest thing I've heard all day. And
it's not even the best 1994 movie. Well, what do we think? Was this a better? Now that we can see all the acne.
You know what though, Greg? I gotta say, like, you're able to rock the facial hair and not the facial hair. I feel like I always have to have some degree of facial hair, or else I just look too weird. But like, you managed to do both, which is, I guess, a compliment.
I went through a real character arc through the course of this podcast.
Yeah, which can't be said for any of the characters in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Compliment.
Yeah.
Weirdly, that's a compliment for this movie.
I don't know.
Tuco maybe learns a little bit, but
I was gonna say, there might be a point where he's like, maybe I should stop fucking people over in case they are smarter than me and can fuck me over.
Well, him learning that lesson in the bathtub scene, I think, is the vehicle for my favorite line in the entire movie, which is where I think it's Blondie, maybe it's somebody else. I think it's Blondie says, drop the gun, put on your pants.
I think it's the opposite order. I think he's like, put your drawers on and put the gun down.
Put your drawers on, drop the gun.
Oh, we didn't even talk about one of the best scenes in the movie, which is Tuco after Blondie's abandoned him in the desert, and he stumbles into that town, and he's like, rehydrating himself, and then he just like opens the door to this gun shop, ostensibly. I'm sure they sell other things there. But he goes in and he just like takes all these different like Colt pieces and just assembles like the perfect gun, and he gets the leather strap and everything, and of course he robs the guy for his money and doesn't pay for the gun, even though like he is a man with a lot more money than most people in the West, just in the middle of the worst circumstances ever. And yeah, shout out to whoever did the makeup for the like sunburn diseased faces
just
and lips
hideous.
And everything. Like
it
looks so much more realistic than like it normally would. Like even in Kill Bill Volume 2, right? She's just covered in dust. She doesn't have any other like symptoms of like sun poisoning or for lack of a better term. I think that maybe that is what it's called, but that's just what makes another example of why this is considered one of the best westerns. That's a hotel. One of the best films in the Western genre ever produced because of that attention to detail and because it is so it's everything you could ever want from one of these movies, and nothing feels incidental other than the fact that they let that dog wander into the shot when Tuco is going into the graveyard for the first time. Apparently
that part's awesome.
They were
that little moment is so pure.
It's just like, just a little extra dash of chaos into this scene. Like, what if the dog starts chasing after him? That would have been maybe deflated the intensity of that moment, but I would have enjoyed it. We'd take this movie from a 10 to a 9 maybe,
for 10 minutes. Push this movie to 3 hours 15.
That dog is
let
the real
kind of chill with the dog for a little bit.
What they need to do,
What's 10 more minutes? Come on, guys.
They need to make they need to remake The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but in the style of Good Boy. So it's just that dog watching everything happen off screen.
Yeah. The bad, the ugly, and the good boy.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier to produce, for sure.
Get that dog that was in that horror movie last year. He's ready for more work. He's got to keep the SAG card valid.
Get the same dog from Good Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what that movie's called.
And get one of the primate from Primate to play Tuco. Why not?
Is the monkey from that Britpop biopic Robbie
Williams?
Robbie Williams.
Yeah, is that guy available?
Monkey. That was
okay. Well, is Andy Serkis in a green suit available? Come on, guys.
Of course he is.
He's always available.
Lord of the Rings isn't doing anything right now, are they? He's free.
Actually, no. They're making The Hunt for Gollum. He is playing Gollum, and he is directing the movie.
Oh shit!
Cool.
Which, as we all know, Andy Serkis, flawless directing resume.
Yeah, you seen Mowgli, the King of the Jungle, or whatever it's called?
You would think at some point he would have started directing those apes movies, but nope. He's like, I'll dance around in the suit, but then I'm back to the bar or whatever. I'm back to Bruce.
Would be funny if he directed the movie like as a monkey.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, is he directing the other actors in this Gollum movie while he's still in that motion capture suit with like the dots on his face?
Doing the voice,
the voice and everything.
Like
I
when,
hope like
when Jordan Peele directed Get Out and like doing his Obama impression half the time.
Oh, good.
That movie's great, but it's like if I was an actor on that set, I'd be like, dude, are you trying to be taken seriously as a director or not? Like, I know there's comedy in this movie, but come on.
Adds new dimension to the I would have voted for him a third time part.
Exactly. I think that probably was one of the scenes where he was like, all right, so I want
There's an outtake where Bradley Whitford is like, I would have voted for you a third time.
Cut! I'm not really Obama.
Line!
And then Michael Key comes out and he's like, he's still Obama's anger translator from the sketch.
Yep.
Yeah. We just made a much better movie about the black experience. Us three black guys. All right.
Italians on this show.
Well, on that note,
cut the cameras.
How much more can we really say about this movie without making this the same length as the movie, which we're getting dangerously close to doing? I think we should.
We're not close to 3 hours. Shut up.
You're right. But it is interesting that this is one of those movies where, like Amadeus, the theatrical version was actually shorter, but then retroactively when they remastered and restored the movie for like the DVD era or whatever, it became 20 minutes longer, and that's the version everyone knows now. That being said, I don't think it would really make much of a difference if you were trying to convince someone to watch it. Like, no, it's 20 minutes shorter, and there's less context as to what the fuck Angel Eyes is doing the entire movie. So I'm glad it exists in the state that it does, and that they went through the process of preserving it and restoring it to the state that it's in now. Like, but it still looks like a movie that was shot in 1966, which is good. I'm glad that it doesn't look too good. It still looks of its era.
It's got the dust. It's got the dust
and the brown face and all of its glory.
See, you said that, so now I don't want to say what I was gonna say, but I will anyhow. Darn it. This is like a movie that I think justifies why we as people, I was going to say culture, but like this is what movies are for. This is why we have this art form. Like, this is not my favorite movie of all time. I can see it's definitely one of the best movies ever made. And if we were to like explain to an alien, like, hey, what are movies about? this would be on my short list of movies I would show them to try and explain it. It just
It would probably
every
be the first one
aspect-
you would show them. I would
Twister,
imagine.
obviously.
No, because then they would see that and go, okay, that's bullshit. Okay, you do realize we're the ones
and then
that
you
send the
chase,
tornadoes,
and then you chase
right?
it with good, the bad, and the ugly. You set a low expectation, and then you fly over it. Yeah, this movie's it's good. It's perfect. I love it. Everyone that likes movies should watch it. Full stop. Great.
If they
great
haven't
film.
already, which, like, if you haven't, the fuck's your problem, dude? You think you're better than me?
You think you're better than me?
You think you're better than Sergio Leone?
Think,
Well, no,
think you're better than me?
You think you're better than Woody? No last name?
This is the thumbnail.
There you go.
You think you're better than me?
Well, the problem is that you guys are already wearing the cowboy hats, so I'm just gonna Photoshop your heads onto the poster, and then I'll figure out what to do with me.
Beautiful.
Maybe
Well,
I'll just get
Photoshop
like
your head with the half like.
yeah, there you go. And I'll get
Yeah.
just like a PNG, a non-transparent PNG of a cowboy hat, and just
There you go.
awkwardly put it on top.
Love it.
It's beautiful.
So, of course, we all recommend The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I do not recommend Once Upon a Time in the West. That movie is very well made, but it's a fucking slog, and it does not have nearly as much like satisfying of a payoff. That movie, I feel like it also kind of like veers into the like anti-Western a bit, because they had this huge build up to the showdown with Henry Fonda and Charles Bronson, and it's over in like 5 seconds. Kind of like this movie, but that movie doesn't have the 9-minute build up in that one location. They're just like, whatever. It's not what you were here for. I'm like, what if it is, damn it? And now I'm using the razor as a hand prop, so you know we've gone on too long. I'll just start shaving my pubes, but not show it. How about that?
Oh boy.
That's what
Save
the
that
viewers-
for another episode.
Just
that'll
off
get us some
camera.
subscribers.
Wait, just real quick. What is the subject of the Greg Shaves His Pubes episode? Got to be like some bratty early 90s pop punk, right?
Oh, there's something about
Probably, yeah.
Mallrats,
Do
Like
another-
early Green Day or
American Pie.
Yep.
Yeah, we could watch American Pie and you shave your pubes. Or like, what if we watch like Jackass 2?
Oh, there you
and then
go.
You shave your pubes off, but then you glue your own pubes to your face.
Yeah, there
to
you go. There you
recreate
go.
your
Yeah.
beard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we got some options. Maybe
Yeah, something.
I don't have
waiting,
crabs
movie
though. Is that
waiting.
going to affect the outcome of the gag? It won't hit as
All
hard
right.
if I don't have crabs.
Spilling the beans.
Oh, sorry. Spoilers for Jackass 2, in case you guys haven't seen it. Nope. So, well,
But keep your eyes open
So-
for when we do the
Watch
Jackass
this
2
space.
episode.
Gonna say-
Watch this space.
watch the space for when we do Jackass 5 coming this summer. So to summate, we recommend The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Jackass 2, and Godzilla 98. If we can take anything,
And
the good,
Holy
the
Trinity.
good, the bad, and the ugly.
Hey,
There you
we did it, class.
Well,
Wow.
thanks for watching, and Tony, thanks for joining us again. We always appreciate it. I want to acknowledge, let's do a land acknowledgement, fellas. No, let's acknowledge that today is February 19th, 2026, when we're recording this, the 10-year anniversary of Animal Collective's Painting With. The first album I ever
No way.
was present
God.
for the
Holy
rollout of.
shit.
That was
Kurt
10
the
years
concert
ago?
for. Yep.
Fuck.
So,
Jeez.
in case you
Yeah,
guys didn't
dude.
feel old before we started, you do now.
Oh,
So,
Man,
on that
that's
note,
crazy.
thanks for
Just-
watching
just
a musician and a
real
filmmaker.
quick. That's a cool album. That's a good album
I
right
love
there.
that
it's a
album.
great
Yeah.
album. It's a great album.
And if
That
you don't
is,
like that album, much like this
Fuck
movie,
you.
exactly, what the fuck's wrong? You think you're better than me? Huh? You want to go?
You think you're better than me?
I would love to see like one of those stereotypical like Sopranos extra Italian people. I would love to know what they think of this. That's a fucking awesome movie. Fucking Clint Eastwood. He gets all the bad guys. I like the part when he smokes the
Hell yeah.
cigars that
Oh.
are 1/3 the length of a normal cigar for some reason. Apparently that was Clint Eastwood's idea, but like I feel like if you didn't know that piece of trivia, you'd be like, why are all of his cigars like shorter than a normal cigarette? I think it's just because he was trying not to die of lung cancer.
Fair.
And I mean, maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, by the time this episode comes out, he's still alive, because the guy's like 97 now.
Yeah, and thank God he lived long enough to direct The Juror 2, which is a great movie.
So good. So good.
Well,
honestly.
apparently I'm
Insanely
behind.
good movie.
It's
everyone
so
was
good. I
talking
literally
about it.
watched it 2 times in one day.
Oh, wow.
Tony, thank you for everything that you do.
Yeah, thanks for having me
but
back.
as well as being
Yeah, thanks,
our,
Danny. It's always a blast.
our favorite non-animal collective member guest of our podcast. And you can actually get a plaque that says that, and I'll sign it, and I'm a notary, so I'll stamp it and everything. So,
but you have to pay for the plaque.
That's fine.
No, just the frame.
You have to like get
the frame is
you
the
have to get the
expensive
whole thing
part.
sorted out by yourself, and then Greg will sign it.
I already have the wax stick ready to go. I'm gonna light it on.
I'm ready.
I'm gonna hold it over at the tip of a candle, and a lit candle, of course, just like
Of course.
Django Unchained, everyone's favorite pasta cowboy movie.
That's right. 1/4 of the Pasta Cowboy collection from Binge Box.
Well, thank you, Mr. Pasta Cowboy, for joining us, and we will see everyone next time on the show when we discuss something we don't know yet. Amazing.
Painting With by Animal Collective.
Little late for that one.